All right, what's up, guys? Just wanted to make a quick video with some photos. There's been some of you guys where you're getting by with kind of one or two photos where they're not done completely correctly, and some of them kind of squeak by. Others you're having to go back and do it again. So I just wanted to kind of show some examples of certain ones of what's acceptable and what's not. So number one that we'll talk about is the elevation. So remember that when you're doing the elevation, you need to get air on all sides. So if you see with this photo, we have a lot of air over here, but we cut off part of the house here, right? So this is one where they're standing, you can definitely tell that they can clearly just angle the camera a little bit more and they'll get the full entire house in there. So you got to make sure that you're doing that with your elevation photos and not cutting off any. I know sometimes there's going to be houses on the side, things like that. They're going to prevent you from doing it. But when you can clearly do that, make sure that you're doing that. Next one is your pitch meters. Okay, so one of the things you guys should all have right now is one of those levels, or go out and get a level to attach your pitch meter to. So this is what is an example of an acceptable pitch meter photo looks like. So we're on the level and we're looking directly at the pitch meter. So here are examples of some that are not acceptable. So something like this. So they have it just placed on the roof. The reason why this isn't acceptable is you can tell that this photo of the pitch meter is at an angle. So when it's at an angle, we're not directly, the photo's not directly at the pitch meter. You get a different read on the pitch meter. So this is something that the insurance company would not accept. So we need to make sure that you're doing it like that first example. Another thing that's not acceptable would be an example like this one. So this is where they took a photo and they just held the pitch meter up in the air with it in the background. That is another thing that insurance will not accept when it's coming down to pitch meters for an accurate reading. So make sure again that you're doing it like this, a direct shot on the pitch meter and have it on one of those levels. Now the next example of ones are going to be your pipe jacks. So remember, with the pipe jacks that have an open circle on it, this is how you want to make sure you're taking the photos. So where you are measuring it from the open part of the pipe. Other accessories on here. So this is an example of a good one. So we're measuring from here to here, right where the pipe is. We don't need the measurements of what this boot jack is. We need what the pipe is. Okay, so here are some examples of ones that are not acceptable. So something like this, where you're just laying the tape on there. We need this pipe as an example, not with that tape measure down there. So we need it, the tape measure would be like how my finger is. Another one that's not acceptable for getting pipes is something like this as well, where you're just holding up something in the air, still kind of far away from that. So we need to be close to it so we can see it, not something in the air. The last two things, just make sure with your fascia photos that right here that you're taking a measurement of the whole entire fascia of what I highlighted in the orange here. So reason why we want this whole entire thing, even though some of the measurements may only need this or this, it's because if we were to damage anything else on this on accident, we have the full measurements, we know what to order. So make sure you're doing the whole entire thing here. Next, with the soffits, most of you guys are doing these pretty good, but just make sure that when you're doing this, that the tape measure is legible. If you can't read that from your photo, don't send that in. So this is another example of a good one. So hopefully that will help you guys out, so I'm not having to send you back out to get more photos. Let me know if you have any questions on any of those things. All right, have a good day, guys.